And I think I've done a very good job. Buonasera, today I'll be cooking arancina. Arancina originate from Sicily. Even in Sicily there are multiple ways of doing them. I've been googling and I've been looking at multiple recipes, and I've adapted something which is going to be a little bit healthier than the recipe that they use in Sicily. I will be doing mine in the oven. I have never cooked this before, so it's going to be a first for me, but I thought it would be good to do a video and see how it goes, and then we can judge at the end. Apologies for my voice, I've not been very well, it's a bit horsey, a bit rauky, but it's not going to stop me from cooking. Let's get going. I'll start by making the rice, and I will be cooking 500 grams of risotto rice. I'll be using arborio risotto, and I'm going to be putting the double quantity in water. So this is 1 liter of water for 500 grams of rice, cold water. Then I will be adding the rice. Make sure that as you pour the rice in, you actually spread it evenly across the pot. Like me, try to make it in the pot, not all over the place. Turn the hob on a high temperature and wait for it to warm up. Okay, after a couple of minutes, has warmed up a little, I'll be adding a sachet of saffron. This will give the yellow color to the arancine which you normally see. I will also sprinkle 1 beef cube, and I will also put in 1 bay leaf. I'll place the lid on and I'll turn the temperature up until it's almost boiling. Great, the rice has reached a boiling point. I will be turning the heat down now to something like number 3 so that it simmers, and I'll place the lid on, and I'm not going to touch it at all. I'll leave it alone, don't be tempted. I'll leave it alone for 10 minutes and I will not be lifting the lid at all. So, and then we will take a good look. So 10 minutes have passed, and as you can see, the rice has risen up and is beginning to look really nice. And this is now when I'm gonna start mixing it together. I'm gonna place the lid on and let it simmer for a further 3 minutes. Wonderful, 3 minutes have passed, and I'm now turning it off. I will remove my bay leaf before I forget. I have grated 50 grams of Parmesan cheese and also weighed 50 grams of butter, and I will be adding them now that it's cooked. Also, I'll put a pinch of salt. We mix it together, we give it a good stir until everything has effectively melted together. The rice will need to cool down, so to accelerate this I will be placing it in an oven tray and spread it evenly so that the heat loss is much quicker. I will be doing 2 types of arancine today. Arancine al ragu, which is effectively the most traditional way of doing them, and that will have mince inside and vegetables. And also I'll be doing arancine al prosciutto, which is ham and cheese. I'll start with the ragu first. I've chopped some celery, and very finely. You need to make sure that everything is really finely chopped. I'll leave the onion for last, and with my carrot, medium-sized carrot, I'll make sure that I'll grate this one. You can try and also chop it finely if you wish, but I want all of my ingredients to be really fine. Pour a semi-generous portion of olive oil in a pan. Turn the heat up and pour in your chopped vegetables. After a couple of minutes, add 300 grams of mincemeat. Now that most of the water has evaporated and the mince is nice and brown, I will be adding a pinch of salt, 300 milliliters of passata, 1 tablespoon of tomato puree, 100 grams of peas. They are very important for this recipe. Purposely I'm making the sauce very dense, as this will be the filling for the arancina and we don't want much liquid in it. I will be also adding some rosemary from my garden, and I'll place the lid on and I will let it simmer for 10 minutes. Okay, the sauce is cooked and it is lovely and dense as I wanted. I'd better remove the rosemary, put it in the bin. Which means we can move on to putting the arancine together. The rice is also cooled down. I will put a line in the middle, as I will be doing half with ragu and half with cheese and ham. Actually, I'll do a little bit more with ragu. There is a preference in my family. There, changed my mind. And the fun begins. So quite simply, wet your hands so that nothing gets stuck to it, and just get hold of some rice, which obviously is nice and cold, enough to fill in the palm of your hand, and dig a little hole. I'll add a little bit more. I will confess to you, this is my first arancina ever. So we will see. Okay, that looks a bit more like a nest. And I will fill it with some of our ragu. With a spoon. I will be putting a little cheese. I'm choosing to use cheddar today, but you can use any cheese you like. Avoid using a mild cheese because you want the cheese to be quite punchy. And then we will need to do the top. So I've seen someone using this technique where they make a little ball with the right hand, then they use the bottom of the left hand. Of course, this is assuming you're right-handed like me, to give it a little bit of a shape, and then you put it on top. The rice is fairly starchy, so which is great because it doesn't get stuck to your hands. It's exactly the consistency that you should be aiming for. And I think I've done a very good job to make a perfectly round ragu arancina. Wow, I'm amazed. Let's start again. You can make them smaller. Maybe I'll try the next one a little bit smaller to see what they look like as well. Or you can make them bigger, but maybe bigger is a little bit too much, but definitely you can try smaller. There is a tool you can buy to make arancina. It's not very expensive either, maybe it's about £10, but I wanted to use my hands. I think sometimes if you make things too easy, the fun goes away. So I've managed to make 6 fairly large arancine ragu based. I've got also some ragu sauce left, which is not a problem, as I will be adding a little more tomato to this and make a pasta which is all ready and will be incredibly tasty. And I'll move on to the cheese and ham ones next. Okay, I'll move on to the ones with cheese and ham. I've done a little tester to see how I get on because they're going to be different shape, but I'm now going to explain why. I will put a little ham first, a piece of cheese, and also I will be putting some ham on the top as well. So it's a sandwich effectively of ham and cheese. I've already pre-cut my rice. I've learned from the first batch. Use the bottom of my hand and I'll go on top. Like I did before, initially I'll try and make it round. But if it's round, once it's cooked, there is no way to distinguish it from the ragu based ones. So I'm going to give it a different shape. And in Sicily they give anything else that is not a ragu based arancina a different shape, most probably the shape of a cone, like this. If it's anything rather than a round arancina, the name is arancino with an O. A round one is an arancina. So the round ones are little girls and the non-round ones are little boys. I've made this the shape of a lemon. Maybe I could call it limoncello. One thing I've also noticed is that as the rice get colder, it's a little bit more difficult to work. So important that clearly we do this while it's all warm. I suppose you can always pop it in the microwave if it was really difficult, but I'm nearly done now. They're done. I've got 6 with ragu and 6 with ham and cheese. In Sicily they would now put it through a paste of flour and water, and then in breadcrumbs, and then they would effectively deep fry them. I don't fancy that. I think it can be quite unhealthy, so I will be choosing a different route. I will be putting them in the oven, and I'm going to show you what I'll do to ensure that they are just as tasty. Okay, an egg in a bowl, and gently beat it with a fork. Put some dry breadcrumbs in a different bowl. Get hold of your arancina and roll it in the egg. And then gently put it with your breadcrumbs and roll it so that it absorbs the breadcrumbs. And repeat with all of your arancina, regardless if they're boys or girls. And they've all been done now. What this does with the egg and the breadcrumbs, effectively, it protects the arancina from splitting when it's cooking in the oven. So it's also another bonus. I will be cooking 4 tonight, as it's just Julie and I. So I will be doing 2 of each. And what I will also do with the rest, I will be putting them in a bag and in the freezer. And what you can then do, you can defrost them whenever you want, and just put them in the oven, and they will be ready for you. I've just topped them with a little olive oil so that they will crispen up and give that lovely golden color as well. And I'm gonna pop them in the oven initially for 15 minutes at a temperature of 200 degrees, and I'll see what they look like. Okay, they've been in the oven initially for 15 minutes, then I turn them on for a further 10 minutes, so total cooking time is 25 minutes, 200 degrees, and they're perfect. You will see that they've got a nice golden color, and they're still piping hot, so I've been let them cool down for a little bit, but I will have a little taste of each aubergine. Thank you, Julie. Okay, I've let them cool down a little bit, and I think it's safe for me to taste now then. I'll try with the ragu one. I'm going to use knife and fork because they're very hot. Normally this is a sort of street food in Sicily, but it's too hot. But they're nice and crunchy. You can see they look just like an arancina. Let's have a look to see if we can find the cheese.
Yeah.
There it is, look. Looking good. Let's try a little. I'm gonna pinch a little ragu.
Please try that again.
Apologies. Alexa is getting excited. Neither do I, Alexa. Okay, let's try some. Might be my first attempt at arancina, but they are gorgeous. They're absolutely delicious. I'll try this one. This is the cheese and ham, looking like a cone. I'll put it in this dish as well. Mind you, they're not too bad actually. I wonder if I can just tuck in. Oh
Can I see
God,
inside?
they're lovely. Here. Here's the inside. Okay, I will put it down and
Those are mine for tea.
yes, they are. And I'm going to have my tea now. They're lovely and crunchy as well. And try them to see what you think. Let me know in the comments if you follow my recipe. Fully recommend it. Try avoid frying them because it will not help your cholesterol. And thank you very much for watching. And ciao ciao for now. And enjoy your arancini, depending if you choose to make them girls or boys. Bye bye.